Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET Core application how to bind data into a drop-down list, which is a select option element using MVC. And here we got the final output on the browser. Notice the header tags bind data into drop-down list in MVC using ASP.NET Core 3.0. Let's open the drop-down list control. See here the country names are binded into this select element: India, US and Australia. Let's check in the database. In the table, country table, we got 3 country names: India, US and Australia. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in ASP.NET Core, first we'll check the table and the column name I want to bind into select option element, which is a drop-down list control. The table name is a country which contains 2 columns: CID, which is a country ID, and the CNAME is a country name. Now let's bind this CNAME column, the country names, into a drop-down list in ASP.NET Core with MVC. Let's open Visual Studio. For this video tutorial, I'm creating a new ASP.NET Core application. Go to File, New Project, and from the project I'm selecting ASP.NET Core Web Application. Click Next. Let's give the project name Bind Record into drop-down list MVC Core. This is my project name. Click Create. And from the ASP.NET Core Web Application, I'm selecting the Model View Control template, and the version I'm using ASP.NET Core 3.0. Click Create. And the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. First, open Solution Explorer. Now in this project I am adding my connection string in the app settings.json file. So let's open the JSON file. Now between these curly braces I am adding, between double quotes, C capital connection strings column. Now between curly braces I am adding my connection string name, my connection column. Now here between double quotes I am adding my connection string data source. So to get the data source of our database, just open Server Explorer. Notice in the Server Explorer there is a data connections folder. Right click the mouse, add connection, and let's give your server name SQL server name. After adding SQL server name, now I'm selecting the database name. SampleDB is my user database. I have selected test connection. It succeeded. Okay. And here we got the sample.db is added. Now we require the data source of the sample.db. Right click the mouse, go to properties. Notice here in the properties there is a connection string which contains data source. Just copy the data source and paste between these double quotes. After that, let's close this connection string because it's a JSON file. We have to add the comma here. Next, open Solution Explorer. Now let's create a new class in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class, and the class name is, I'm adding EMP country class. Click add. And here we got our country class. Now in this country class I'm just defining the public properties. prop, double tap, int. Here one important condition is the property names must be same as the column names in the table. So the first property name, switch to the SQL Server. In the table, the first column name is a CID. Let's add that column name, CID, and this CID column is a primary key, so we need to add that key, and this key method belongs to the namespace using system.componentModel.data annotations. Now let's add the second property, prop double tap, which is a string. CNAME is a column name. CNAME, we have to add exact the same column names in the property names. After adding the public properties in this country class, next open Solution Explorer. Again, let's add a new class to create the DB context. Right click the models folder, add class. The class name is a connection string class. Now in this connection string class, and the DB context class belongs to the Microsoft.Entity Framework code package. So let's add the package here using Microsoft.Entity Framework. If you notice in the drop-down, there is no any entity framework code is installed in our project. So let's install. First, delete this namespace, open Solution Explorer, expand the dependencies. Notice in the dependencies folder there is no any packages folder here. So let's add the necessary packages for this project. Right click the project name, manage Najit packages, add that one. Switch to the browse and search for Microsoft Entity Framework code, add that one. And here we got the Entity Framework code. I'm selecting that package. The version is 3.0. Let's install. Click OK. Let's accept the license. I accept. And the package is installed successfully. Notice there is a arrow mark, which means it's installed successfully into our project. Let's open Solution Explorer. Notice now in the dependencies we got the packages folder. Expand that one. See here the Microsoft.Entity Framework code is added. Now let's add the other packages. So instead of typing, scroll down, we require the .SQL Server Entity Framework code .SQL Server. Let's install that one. Click OK. Let's accept the license. And this SQL Server package is also installed successfully. Now the next one is a design. Click install. Click OK. I accept. And the final one we require this one, tools. Select that one and install. Click OK. I accept. And the tools package is also installed successfully. Let's open Solution Explorer and notice in the packages folder we got all the 4 packages are installed successfully. Now the next step, open connection string class again. Let's add the namespace using Microsoft.Entity Framework code. Then in the connection string class, let's inherit DB context. After that, Let's close this error list and output message box. Let's create the constructor. In this constructor, add the DB context options. The options, let's add the connection string class options colon base options. Then let's define the property here, public, and this property type is a DB set. In this DB set, the T entity we are getting from this country class, and here the my property. Here the property name is very important. We must add our the table name, which is the country. Copy that one and paste here. That's it. Now the next step, open Solution Explorer. We need to add our connection string name and the connection string class startup.cs file. Open startup.cs file. Let's import the namespace using Microsoft Entity Framework code, then using project name models folder. After adding these two namespaces, notice here in the configure services, let's add our services.db add db context. In this add db context, I am adding connection string class, then options dot use SQL server method, and this SQL server method takes a connection string. So the connection string configuration dot get connection string method, and this get connection string method takes a string parameter. Let's add our connection string name. Open app settings.json file. Our connection string name is my connection. Copy that one and paste between these double quotes in the get connection string method. Add the semicolon. So now the next step, open Solution Explorer. Let's add a new controller in this controllers folder. Select the controllers folder, right click the mouse, add controller. Let's give the controller, I'm selecting MVC controller, empty, add. The controller name is DDL, drop down list, add. And here we got our DDL controller. Now in this controller, first add the namespaces using Microsoft Entity Framework, then using, let's add the model folder also, models folder, semicolon. Now in the controller, let's add the property private read only. In this read only, I'm adding my connection string class underscore cc. Then let's create the constructor for this class, ctor double tab, which creates the constructor. Now in this constructor, I'm adding connection string class cc underscore cc is equals to cc. And then in the action result index, I'm adding the list class. The list class, the type of elements in the list we are getting from the country class. Let's create the object cl is equals to new list country class. Now the next step, I'm adding the cl object is equals to from c is object in underscore cl dot and the table name, not CL, it's CC underscore CC dot, the table name is a country, select C dot to list method. After that, I'm adding the default label for the drop down list element, which is a select country names, cl dot insert method. The insert method takes two parameters. The first one is integer index 0. The first one starts with 0, and a new country class. Between curly braces, I am adding CID is equals to 0, comma, CNAME. In CNAME, between double quotes, I am adding select country names, country name, semicolon. After that, to display the records, I am using viewBag dot message is equals to, I am adding the CL object, semicolon. That's it. In this action result index method, we have written the code to fetch the records from the table, and we have created the default label for the drop down list control, which is the select country name. After that, we have used viewBag.message to display the records in the index view page. Now, before adding the view page for this action result index method, we must build the application first. Build solution. And the project built successfully. Let's close this output message box. Highlight the index method, right click the mouse, add view. The view name is index, the template, I am not selecting any template, just empty without model. Click add. And here we got our index view page with the empty template. Now first, in this index view page, at model, I'm adding my project name, which is a bind record dot models dot country class. After that, I'm changing the header bind record bind data into drop down list, select option element in MVC H2 using ASP.NET Core. The version I'm using 3.0. After that, I'm adding horizontal line. Now after the horizontal line, I'm adding the select tag. Now inside this select tag, I'm adding the properties ASP-for is equals to, between double quotes, I'm adding the column name CID. Then let's add the items. ASP-items is equals to, between double quotes, at new select list. Now in this select list method, I'm adding at viewBag dot, this is at viewBag. We need to add this one, viewBag dot message. Let's add that one there, at viewBag dot message, comma, the column name CID, comma, and the second one is a CNAME, between double quotes, CNAME. That's it. We have binded the data into this drop down select element using ASP.NET Core in MVC application. Now before check the output on the browser, the most important, we have to change the controller name. So to change the controller name in ASP.NET Core application, open startup.cs file, come to the bottom in the configure method, and notice at the bottom pattern controller is equals to home, which is the default one. I'm deleting that home controller. Let's add our controller, which is a DDL controller. DDL is our MVC controller name. Let's copy that one and paste here in the controller section. And the action view page is the index only, which is this one. That's it. Now it's time to check the results on the browser. Browse with. I'm selecting the Google Chrome, which is the default one, set as default browse. And here we got the final output on the browser. Notice the header tags bind data into drop-down list in MVC using ASP.NET Core 3.0. Let's open the drop-down list control. See here the country names are binded into this select element: India, USA and Australia. Let's check in the database. In the table, country table, we got 3 country names: India, US and Australia. That's it. We have implemented in MVC using ASP.NET Core to bind data into this drop down list element.